being a young boy growing up in Edwardsburg, Michigan on a farm, not really knowing about the RV industry, except one day that I was riding with my folks through Elkhart and was mentioned that RV capital of the world was in Elkhart, Indiana. Probably that inserted that in the back of my mind about the RV industry. Karen and I met in college. She was going to nursing school when we met. That woman standing right there captured my heart at that moment. And we got married a year later.
When we got married, I didn't even know where Elkhart was. And I was only a half hour away, growing up in Dowagiac, Michigan. And I felt like he was moving me so far away. And, but it grew on me, and I got involved in the hospital, involved in church.
$2.50 an hour job is what I got, working 40 hours a week. $100 a week I was making, and bringing home $80 a week, which paid our monthly rent for our first home that we rented for a year and a half. When you start working for other people and companies, you learn not only the good, but some of the bad. Sometimes the bosses that aren't maybe the best bosses, you can learn from them too. And then you start thinking about, you know what, I could probably do this a little bit better. I could treat people maybe a little bit better than maybe what this boss has been treating me. So that's sort of that inspiration.
Not knowing anything about business, my motivation was just to support him. I think when someone is starting out in a new venture, they need to feel supported.
Tom Irons and I met and we started ASA. We didn't have any money. Even our two combined financial statements didn't even give us a net worth to even warrant a credit limit from buying our products, but they gave it to us.
When he decided to go on his own, that part was scary, and he didn't take a paycheck for a year.
We were able to buy some product, turn that product and buy a little bit more, and that's how we grew ASA. Working our tails off, working long hours and being young and just aggressive and just pounding the doors, just not giving up.
Kelly knew what he wanted to do, and we just said, well, let's go for it. You know you're successful when a paycheck is regular again. I mean, it was like for 1 year he didn't take one, and then after that he was able to bring home a paycheck. And it was amazing watching him make something out of nothing.
And that's when I purchased StarCraft, and then I was fortunate to take it public a few years later, which I wanted to do that. I'm glad I did that.
We were very blessed, of course. And then when we could start helping family, as things progressed and got better, we just loved helping others, especially children.
Kelly and Karen are some of the most generous people I know, both to all of our not-for-profit organizations in Elkhart County, but also directly to the Community Foundation. I've approached Kelly and Karen for their help, I think 3 or 4 times in the last decade, and their answer is always yes, and it is always a generous yes.
CAPS has been certainly our number one, because we love kids. Karen and I just have a passion for kids and that are underprivileged, and so we just have a heart for that. Karen has served on the board of CAPS. You know, I've served on the board of Hospice and United Way and Hubbard Hill and numerous other boards I've served on. And
we really do believe that time, treasure, and talent are equally important contributions to a community's health and well-being. And certainly Kelly and Karen, through their board service with a variety of organizations, as well as their interest in those organizations, has been as meaningful a contribution from them as the checks they've written and the gifts they've made to those organizations.
Obviously, the old adage is much better to give than receive, and we certainly we subscribe to that, and it gives us great joy to be able to give to other people. It truly does. It's God's blessing.
His support has meant a lot to me, but we've always given each other room to grow and do what we're interested in.
52 years of marriage, I just thank God every day for my wife. Without her, I would be nothing. Without God, we would be nothing. But without her, I certainly wouldn't be sitting here today. To create a legacy, we all are going to leave a legacy, good and bad. So I don't really say that we really created much of a legacy, other than we're just doing what God wants us to do, and just to live our lives and just be good human beings and give back to people.